Okay, ready? Okay. Dana Abercrombie, the Coalition. Thank you both for speaking to me. What I wanted to know with episode five, there's been a lot of conflict within the group, and now we're bringing in the outside world. From the insights of the characters have learned from the previous season, how do you feel that they will be focused within season five?
Yeah, it's kind of we're really unraveling during this season, and everything is so new and confusing throughout this season that we're just it's unbelievable. We're like we there's so many moments throughout this season that are a surprise. Every from the first second that we walk towards the city and we see the reaction of people towards us, we're shocked by that. And then from seeing what happens in the market and the tables turning, we're shocked by that. And then sitting around the table and hearing what's about to happen, we're shocked by that. And there's going to be a betrayal. We're shocked by, it's all, this whole season is just one shock after the other. And it happens in such a short time span that I think our minds, our bodies are working faster than our minds. I don't think we're caught up to what's going on. I don't think we're actually caught up by the things that are happening around us. So we're just in limbo.
There's literally no time to process each event. Like, as we are processing walking into the city, something new happens, then something new. And so it really does feel like the wheels have fallen off the car, and we're just trying to deal with almost unbearable circumstances, really. And then it leads to the Last Supper, where we hear some pretty disturbing things from our rabbi.
Yeah.
So, kind of want to talk about the Last Supper aspect of it. When he tells you exactly what's going to happen in regards to how the outside world is going to start treating you like enemies, can you talk about what exactly goes through your head? Is there a moment of disbelief, or is there a moment of assurance where I have to prepare because I know what he's saying is correct?
You know how when you catch yourself sometimes just thinking, is what's being told right now, is this really happening? Am I really here? I think that's what it is. It kind of feels like a dream, and it feels like, am I hearing what I'm hearing? It's that kind of that edge between not believing and between not being sure that you are actually awake, and so you keep kind of pinching yourself to try to understand what just happened, and then you're caught up in this intimate moment, one-on-one, during that scene. And so I think it's all just disbelief, and feels you're not sure whether you're on solid ground, whether this is actually being told and happening. So that, and whether it is us wanting to reject it, or whether it's us wanting to, whether to somehow process it.
It's funny you mentioned that specifically, hearing that, because me as Andrew, when I hear things are going to get much harder now the next time you go out into the world, I'm like, the last time I went out, I got kicked out of town. And then we came back and there was fire in the tents, and then that led to the feeding of the 5,000. So for me, that moment I do remember hitting me in a sort of pretty serious way. Like, it went pretty bad last time for me. And it does sort of start to sink in that he is preparing us for a life of difficulty. And then whether we can deal with it or process it in the moment is yet to be seen.
I wanted to talk a little bit about faith with both of the characters because it's very easy to lose faith within this moment. What keeps it steadfast?
I can't say necessarily at this moment. I cannot say that it's steadfast, because we've just seen a color that is, what happens in the temple, the turning of the tables, which, this is not a spoiler. Isn't it fascinating that this show has spoilers? I don't know how the writers have managed to create it, but they did. This show constantly surprises. We're not supposed to tell what's about to happen, even though everybody knows what's about to happen, because the way it's been written in such a way that kind of surprises the audience. and so that moment that has been revealed in the trailer, so I can talk about it. It's such a violent moment, and it's such a new color that I think at this point I'm still recalibrating. You asked if it's still solid. I don't know. I'm still recalibrating what just happened, because this is the color that I have never seen before. So I'm right now completely confused about why go from where we entered in the beginning of the season, where everybody loved us and it seemed like everything's going according to plan, to go and just to destroy all of that in a violent way, where up until now it was all against violence. It was all not about taking on the sword. So that's the beauty of this show. It captures a moment in time. I can't talk to you about how it's going to end, but I can tell you that in this moment in time, I am very shaken by what's going on,
In another way, I think what's interesting is that me as Andrew, my faith in Jesus does not waver. But then what he's saying is so shocking and scary that I have to fall into a level of denial about it. I have to say, okay, he must not mean what he's saying, or it must be parable, it must be metaphor. He's not literally saying what's going to happen, because otherwise I can't come to terms with it. And then soon reality starts staring you right in the face, and then you can't run from it. But for a long time there, it's just firm in the denial camp, honestly.
Thank you both so much for speaking to me. Superb series. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you so much.
so much.
Thank you.